Says that he witnessed suspicious behavior of the 35-year-old Hugo Hernandez Mendez following DaCara's disappearance.
Cody tells Fox 5 he lives next door to the alleged illegal immigrant who police say killed DaCara Thompson inside of his bedroom in a Bowie, Maryland home. Cody says early in the morning on August 23rd, he stepped outside of his home and saw something burning in the suspect's backyard. He says he still can't believe this happened.
I'm terrified. This could happen next door to my house, in my neighborhood. Like, my wife sits regularly in between the two houses and smokes late at night. This girl deserves justice, whatever justice can be given in this world.
Child, every day we learn something new about what happened to 19-year-old DaCara Thompson that fateful day when she went missing, and each one is even more gruesome than the last.
We believe the murder occurred in the home on Cambridge Drive in Hernandez's bedroom. Her body was taken to the location that it was recovered at by Hernandez. At this time, there are no additional suspects. However, this investigation is ongoing.
What's even more crazy is that with every new piece of information that comes out, there's more and more questions left unanswered. Such as, did DaCara and Hugo Hernandez Mendez know each other before that incident? And if they didn't, what exactly did he say to DaCara Thompson to get her to willingly enter his car? No apparent force involved. With the way that she parked her car and the fact that her purse and other items were still in her car, it was obvious that whatever DaCara and Hugo had going on wasn't meant to last long. And she even told her father that she would be back home soon. While we may never know how or why Hugo got DaCara and was so heartless to unalive her in that way, the feds have found out that DaCara Thompson might not be the first victim of Hugo Hernandez Mendez, because they found other women's underwear along with some of their personal items in his bedroom. Could Hernandez Mendez have other victims too? And girl, how was he able to get away with this for so long? Because with his rap sheet and status as an illegal immigrant, the feds should have been all up on his case a long time ago.
It's been hard. We came to the scene. We did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
DaCara's father gave News 4 this surveillance video allegedly taken from a home near where DaCara's SUV was found. He says it appears to show her walking away from the car around 1:30 a.m. Saturday morning, about 3 hours after she left her father's home in Lanham. Her parents say they haven't heard from or seen DaCara since. Her phone was not left in her car, and her parents say it's been disabled.
By now, you all have already heard what happened to DaCara Thompson, right? It has caused so much buzz on social media because it looked like the authorities didn't want to talk about her passing since she was unalived by an illegal immigrant. It has caused so much debate about today's sugar daddy and 301 culture because there are a lot of theories going around about the reason she went with Hugo to his home was because she was allegedly selling herself. These stories are crazy, but the reason why people have so much to say is because of how insane the whole situation is. The whole thing started after DaCara Thompson was reported missing by her father just before 9 p.m. on August 23rd. He had seen her the day before and even spoke to her at night when she told him she was going out to get gas and she'd be back home soon. But that was the last time anyone had ever seen or heard from her. When she didn't come back home, her parents panicked and tracked the location of her phone to Hyattsville. Once they got there, they saw her car, noticed her things were still inside, and called police. And this is when things truly get scary. Up until the last few days, DaCara's family was still hopeful that she would still be found alive, and they posted missing persons flyers and asked people to reach out to them if they had had any information on DaCara. Sadly, on August 31st, DaCara's family learned that they were never going to see her again. That day, during a routine patrol, police discovered DaCara's body along an embankment off Route 50 near the South River Bridge in Anne Arundel County. But get this, when they found her body, it showed signs of trauma and struggle, including skull and facial fractures. On September 3rd, police got in touch with DaCara's family and asked if they could identify the body. And even though DaCara's body was in really bad shape, they were still able to tell that it was her through her distinctive tattoos and jewelry. Once the family identified that it was DaCara, authorities told them that she had been killed elsewhere and her remains were dumped at the location where she was found. And this is where things get a bit more interesting.
It's not like her at all. This is out of the norm for her. She's a introvert. She doesn't have an enormous amount, like a lot of friends that she hangs with or anything like that. And like, we're really close.
Now that they know who it was and her last location, police were able to look at surveillance footage from August 23rd when she was last seen and saw that around 3 a.m. she stepped out of her white SUV and approached the driver's side of a black GMC and appeared to be speaking to the driver. A few moments later, she walked across to the passenger side and got in the car. They drove away. Using the footage, police were able to trace the GMC and found that it belonged to someone who lived on Cambridge Drive in Bowie, Maryland, and that person was Hugo Hernandez Mendez.
But I'll say this, the goal of this office is to achieve justice for DaCara Thompson and for her family.
When they questioned him, Hugo told the police that he had nothing to do with DaCara's disappearance. That night, Hugo claimed that he had gone to the Galaxy nightclub to meet with his ex-girlfriend who didn't show up. When they continued to question him, Hugo said he wasn't going to say anything else without his lawyer. Despite Hugo not saying anything, police still executed a search warrant on his place, and child, what they found was so unsettling. You know, the police had already said that DaCara's body showed signs of trauma and struggle. Well, when they got to Hugo's place, they found her blood and her missing white tee and pink fingernails, along with her wig and some other stuff that he had thrown in the trash. They also found multiple pairs of women's underwear stashed in his bedroom. What the heck? Did DaCara happen to fall victim to a serial unaliver? Once the evidence was found, the police had everything they needed to charge Hugo with first and second degree unaliving of 19-year-old DaCara Thompson. ICE then issued a detainer on Hugo Hernandez Mendez, calling him a criminal illegal alien, and stated that justice would be served for DaCara's family.
Kind of an outgoing, soft-spoken, kind young lady. She was a free spirit. She was a good girl. She was a good kid. So there's been a lot of people disparaging her character on social media and things as such. Please don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you hear. Out of respect for the family and us grieving, please, approach everything with grace. We would appreciate that.
Every part of this story is just so unsettling because it's scary to think that Hugo could be so mindless and heartless to unalive DaCara, load her body back to his car, and drive all the way to Route 50 just to dispose her as if she wasn't a human being. And what makes it even more scary is that he was so comfortable doing so while there were other people inside of his house. Y'all, Hugo wasn't living there alone, and all the time that he was unaliving DaCara in his bedroom, his whole family was in the house, seemingly oblivious to what was happening. One of his cousins told the police that she couldn't believe that he would do such a thing, but she also said that the last 2 weeks she rarely saw Hugo and that his behavior had changed drastically. And that's so suspicious because someone then mentioned that within those 2 weeks that Hugo was acting funny, 3 other black women had gone missing in the same area with similar features. What exactly is going on here? Also, another roommate said that he had heard Hugo and DaCara having intercourse and that it sounded like the other party wasn't enjoying it too much. Then, when he looked out a few hours later, he saw the GMC was no longer parked there. The roommate said that he thought that it was weird because Hugo didn't work on Saturdays and the car was often parked outside the house by that time. But the real question is, how is it that multiple people in one house didn't see or hear a man moving a girl's body out of the house? Do they really not know anything, or are they just trying to protect themselves from getting into more trouble with feds since it looks like several undocumented immigrants were living there? And is it possible that one of them could have helped Hugo lift her body into the car, and now they are trying to protect him so it doesn't give that person away? There's just so much going on and so many pieces to the puzzle that are out of place. It's hard not to wonder if this could have all been avoided had the police actually had their eye on Hugo when he began breaking the law. Long before DaCara came into the picture, Hugo already had several run-ins with the law and several DUIs. So the fact that he was still roaming around with these charges, considering that he's an undocumented immigrant, doesn't make much sense at all. Well, the police are still investigating what happened to DaCara, and with all of the stuff that was found in his bedroom, along with the other Black women who have gone missing in the area, it looks like Hugo might be responsible for far more than just unaliving DaCara Thompson. And people are hoping that this time around justice is served, because there's no reason for someone so young to lose her life so viciously. I truly believe DaCara got in that truck to talk, and he decided to drive to his house. No woman will leave her purse in the car without going back to get it. I know this is not his first time killing a woman, and I believe he is a predator/rapist, and the family had to hear her screaming for her life in the bedroom. I also believe one of his cousins helped him get rid of her body. R.I.P. to DaCara Thompson. She did not deserve that. I figured it out. In order for any Black life to matter to BLM, it exclusively has to be a Black life taken by the hands of a white person. Illegals don't count. That's why they're quiet about the DaCara Thompson murder. Do you guys think that the police are going to discover more women that Hugo Hernandez Mendez has unalived? Sound off in the comments and make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, baddies.